Hello friends, welcome back for the lecture series of engineering mechanics. So today we are going to learn motion under gravity. In last lecture we have learned the problems of rectilinear motion with a constant acceleration. Here we are going to solve the numericals of rectilinear motion with constant acceleration but motion under gravity. That A is here we have to replace by G. Whatever the formulas we have derived in previous lecture, that is V is equal to U plus AT, V square is equal to U square plus twice of AS, and S is equal to UT plus 1 half AT square. In all the three formulas there is A, so that A is here we have to replace by the G, that is gravity force. So rectilinear motion along y-axis, that is motion under gravity. When body is thrown upward or free fall of a body, the acceleration is termed as acceleration due to gravity. Either we throw the body in upward direction or in downward direction. So let's say if the ball is thrown or body is thrown in upward direction, so in that case all of you know that the acceleration due to gravity G is always towards the earth. So here the motion and the acceleration due to gravity both are in opposite direction. Therefore we have to assume G is minus. Okay. When ball is thrown in upward direction, assume G is minus. So equation of motion during upward journey. So remember that this formula is these three we have to use for the upward journey, and while upward journey G is always negative. So first equation, V square is equal to U square plus twice of AS. So here A is replaced by minus G. Therefore your equation becomes V square is equal to U square minus twice of GS. Now the next second equation, V is equal to U plus AT. So here A again replaced by minus G. So it becomes V is equal to U minus GT. At the third equation, S is equal to UT plus 1 half AT square. Here again A is replaced by minus G. So your equation becomes S is equal to UT plus 1 half gt square, where v is the final velocity, u is the initial velocity, and s is the displacement between initial and final point. T is the time required to travel from initial to final point. Now when the motion is in downward direction or downward journey, when the journey start from top to the bottom, so in that case your journey is in downward direction, and always you know that G is always in downward direction. So if you compare both the motion and G, both are having the same direction. Therefore here A is equal to plus G. G is always positive. So here I have written G is positive because displacement or the journey and the G both are in same direction, therefore G is positive. In previous case both are having the opposite direction, therefore G is negative. So your equations are becoming like this. Okay, so these are the three equations. Same equation, just instead of minus G here plus G is there, where v is the final velocity, u is initial velocity, s is the distance between initial and final point, and t is time required to travel from initial to final point. So always remember that when a body is thrown or ball is thrown in upward direction, so it will achieve the maximum height to a certain point. Let's say at up to this the body is reach, and after that it will starts its journey in downward direction. So at maximum height for a certain instant of time, the velocity of that ball or that body is equal to 0. So velocity at highest point is always equal to 0. At highest point, velocity of body is becomes 0 and body changes its direction of motion and starts moving downward. I think this point is clear to you now. When any body is thrown in upward direction, it reaches the maximum height, and after maximum height, at maximum height velocity will becomes 0 and it will start in a downward direction. Let's come towards the numericals. A ball is thrown vertically upward from the ground with initial velocity 20 meter per second. Determine the maximum height reached by the ball, time taken to reach maximum height, total time of flight. Here ball is thrown with a velocity of 20 meter per second. Initial velocity u is given. When it reaches the maximum height, what happened? At maximum height, the final velocity v is 0 and g is always minus. So here a is equal to minus g. So at maximum height, u is given, v is given, a is given. So can you able to find out s? Yes, by using this equation, v square is equal to u square plus twice of s, as. So in that equation only s is unknown. Substituting the values, v is 0, u is 20, plus twice a is minus g, that is minus 9.81 into s. So from that you will get the value of s. Now s is known. First point is over. Now time taken to reach the maximum height. Now we have to find out the time t. So u is known to us, v is known to us, a is known to us. We require to find out the t. So which equation we have to use? Which contain all the three quantities. V is equal to u plus at, because substituting the values of v is equal to 0, u is equal to 20 and a is equal to minus 9.81, t we will get. So t is 2.0387 second. Thus t is now known to us. Okay, now this is time t required to reach the maximum height. So always remember that whatever the time is ascent, so same time is required for descent also. म्हणजे एखाद्या पार्टिकलला वर जाण्यास जेवढा वेळ लागतो तेवढाच वेळ त्याला खाली येण्यास लागतो. So therefore time of ascent is equal to time of descent. So total time of flight is 2.0387 plus 2.0387. So total time of flight is 4.0775 second. Okay, got it? Time of ascent is equal to time of descent. So please remember this concept. Ascent means time required to go up from the ground, and descent is time required to come from the top position to the ground. So that is the time of descent. So first problem is over. So here just we have to use the three equations of motions just by replacing a by g. If upward journey plus g, if downward journey minus g. Now very interesting problem. I think this problem you have solved in scholarship exam also, to find out the depth of the whale, if I am not wrong. A stone is dropped in a whale and splash is heard after 3 seconds. If the speed of the sound in air is given as 340 meter per second, determine the depth of the whale. Now here, a stone is dropped in a well and splash is heard after 3 seconds. Means from since you have dropped the stone, the time required 3 seconds to hear the splash of water. जे स्टोन विहिरीत टाकल्यापासनं तो पाण्यात पडून परत तुम्हाला आवाज येईपर्यंत 3 सेकंदाचा वेळ लागला. अँड द वेलॉसिटी ऑफ द साऊंड इज गिवन 340 मीटर पर सेकंड. So can we say that time of here descent and ascent is equal, time of descent plus time of ascent is equal to 3 meter. Let's say that t1 is the time required or time of travel of stone up to the water in a well. T2 is the time of travel of sound from the water towards the observer. So can we say that T1 plus T2 is equal to 3? Yes, we can say like that. So can we write down T2 is equal to 3 minus T1? Okay, remember this. Then initial velocity of the stone is 0 meter per second because it is thrown from hand of the observer. Now required is height of the well, or that will called as a displacement S. Here hint, distance traveled by the stone and the sound is same. Are you agree with this? Definitely. By using the equation of motion under gravity, here downward journey is there. So here A is equal to plus G. Now we know that in order to find out the displacement or the distance traveled by the sound, here we have to use S is equal to ut. Here we don't have to consider the acceleration of sound, because in that case whatever the resistance is offered by the air and that things, we have to neglect that. So S of sound is 340 into T2. T2 is time required travel of sound towards the observer from well to that person. Now S of stone, displacement of stone, S is equal to ut plus 1/2 at square. Here A is equal to plus G. Substitute the values. U is 0, 1/2, G is 9.81, T1 square. So S of stone, you will get the 4.905 T1 square. So now in both the cases, S of sound is equal to S of stone. So we can compare this. 340 T2 is equal to 4.905 T1 square. Now substitute the value. T2 is equal to 3 minus T1, that we have already derived in first slide. That is T1 plus T2 is equal to 3. Therefore T2 is equal to 3 minus T1. Substitute that value in for above equation and solving that, you will get the T1 2.8803 time required travel to stone up to the water, and the time required to sound to the observer, that is 3 minus 2.88, so that is 0.1197. So can you able to find out the depth of well? Yes, definitely. S is equal to 340 into T2. Substituting these values, T2 is 0.1197. So you will get the depth of the well is 340 into 0.1197, that is 40.69 or 40.7 meter. This is the depth of the well. So this is quite simple problem. Here concept is that time required to travel will be T1. T1 is the time required to stone from top to the bottom, and T2 is time required for the sound from the bottom to the observer. And S of sound is nothing but the velocity into time, and S of stone, we are having the equation motion, S is equal to ut plus 1/2 at square. In both the cases displacement is same, therefore we can compare this displacement and find out the time required to reach the observer or time required to reach the stone up to the ground, up to the well, and after that we are find out the both the times and resubstituting that T2 in equation number 1, you will get the depth of the well. Quite simple. The next numerical, very interesting one. A ball is thrown vertically upward from the ground. Two men standing at different heights of the building watch the ball pass by them at a speed of 20 meter per second and 10 meter per second respectively. Determine the height between their locations. That is two observers. The height between the two observers we have to find out. How high does it rise beyond the second man? That we have to find out the maximum height attained by the ball beyond the second man. So after reading this problem, you have to understood what is given and what is asked to find out. Here, when ball is thrown in vertically upward direction, there are the two persons who are standing in a balconies and they are observing the balls. When the first person observe that, it find that velocity of that ball is 20 meter per second, and when the second person observe it, it is 10 meter per second. Now these are the two persons. They are observing this ball. When this ball is throwing in an upward direction, we have to first find out, they have asked us to find out this h. Now this ball is moving in upward direction. When it reaches to the first person, in that case its velocity is 20 meter per second. Here observing the velocity is 20 meter per second. When this ball is moving upward, when it crosses the second person, the velocity at that point is 10 meter per second. And from this given data, we have to find out the height between their location. We have to find out the height between this person and this person. The height between these two persons, that is this h, we have to find out. Now here, this velocity is initial velocity and this velocity is final velocity. Are you agree or not? So which formula is useful? V is equal to u plus at, or s is equal to ut plus 1/2 at square, or v square is equal to u square plus twice of as. I think this last formula is useful because here v square is known to us, u square is known to us, plus twice of as, a is minus g, and yes, we can easily find out. Okay, this is the initial velocity, final velocity. Now upward journey. So here we have used the formula v square is equal to u square minus twice of gs, minus g because ball is thrown in upward direction. V is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut minus 1/2 gt square. These three formulas are there. So out of that, this is important formula. Okay, we have to choose this formula. Okay, substituting the values, you can find out this height h. This height is h is now 15.29. Now first part is over. Now for the second part, they have asked us how high this ball will be reached beyond the persons who are standing over here. तो बॉल किती वर जाईल ह्या सेकंड पर्सनच्या, तो आपल्याला काढायचा आहे. तो काढायचा म्हणजे जेव्हा हा बॉल हायेस्ट पॉईंटला जाईल त्यावेळेस तिथे काय राहील रे, वेलॉसिटी 0 होईल, आणि ही वेलॉसिटी त्या केसला काय होईल, इनिशियल वेलॉसिटी होईल. लेट्स फाइंड आउट. नाउ हाऊ हाय डज इट राइज बियॉन्ड द सेकंड मॅन. नाउ वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट हाऊ हाय does it rise beyond the second man. Now this ball is moving in upward direction. So at this highest point, the ball will be reached. Let's say that this ball will be reached at this point. When this ball is reached at this point, velocity becomes 0, because at highest point velocity is 0. Now we have to find out this height h1. Now in this case, the initially ball was here, and initially the ball is here, and after that the ball will be reach over here. So now this becomes your initial velocity and this become your final velocity. Same formula we have to use. Now this is initial 10 meter per second and this is your final velocity. Then which formula is useful? Upward journey v square is equal to u square minus twice gs. Substituting the values, you will get the value of h1, that is 5.10. That is, the ball will be rise 5.1 meter above the second observer. Okay, got it? Simple problem. Now next problem. A stone is dropped from top of tower 50 meter height. The height of this tower is 50 meter. At the same time, another stone is thrown vertically upward from the foot of the tower with a velocity of 20 meter per second. When and where they cross each other. Now here, this stone is dropped from the 50 meter high tower, and here the ball is thrown with a velocity of 25 meter per second. They have asked us when and where these two balls are cross each other. So when this ball is dropped, when the word is drop, is indicates that initial velocity of the first this stone is 0. Its journey is in downward direction, and this stone is thrown with a velocity of 25 meter per second. So u is 25 meter per second, and this is the point of crossing. So let's say at the time of crossing, s1 is displacement of stone throwing from top of building, and s2 is the displacement of stone thrown from the ground at the time of crossing. So if let's say that if this is total height of building is 50, so what is the s2? S2 is, can we say that 50 minus s1? Yes, definitely. If total is 50, from that if we deduct this s1, so this remaining height is, remaining height is 50 minus, this height is 50 minus s1. Okay, this height is 50 minus s1 because total height is 50. 50 minus s2, sorry, 50 minus s1 will give you the s2. S1 is known to us. Now s2 is known to us. Initial velocity of both the stones are known to us. The stone which is dropped from the top, whose velocity is 0. The stone which is thrown from the ground, whose velocity initial is 25 meter per second, and height of building is 50 meter is given. Displacement of stone from top of building to ground in downward direction, it is in downward, journey is in downward, therefore A is equal to plus G. So S is equal to ut plus 1/2 at square. So S is equal to U is 0. So A is 9.81. So 9.81 divided by 2, that is 4.905 T1 square. This is the S1, time where they cross each other. A is 9.81 plus displacement of stone from the ground in upward direction. A is equal to minus G, because stone is thrown in a upward direction. So S2 is equal to ut plus 1/2 at square. So S2 U is 25t minus 4.905 t square. Now S1 is equal to minus 25t plus 4.905 t2 plus 50. So here S1. What is S1? S1 is nothing but the S2 minus 50. S2 is equal to 50 minus S1. So S1 is equal to, S1 is equal to 50 plus S2. Got it or not? I will write here. S2 is equal to 50 minus S1. So we have to write down the equation in terms of S1. So the same equation I have write down in terms of S1. So here S1, this equation, okay, multiply both sides. I will take this S1 on this side, so it becomes plus, and this will becomes minus. So S1 is equal to minus S2. Now substituting this value, just 1 minute. So S2 is equal to 50 minus S2 is equal to here 50 minus S1. So what is the value of S1? S1 is 4.905. We have to write down it in terms of S2. Okay. So rearranging the terms, you will get this equation. S1 is equal to minus 25t plus 4.905t square plus 50. And solving this by comparing equation 1 and 2. This equation, let's say this equation is 2 and this equation is 1. Comparing these two equations, you will get the value of t. So that will give you the answer. T is equal to 2 seconds when they cross each other. To find out where they cross each other, put t is equal to 2 in equation number 1. So if we take t is equal to in equation number 1, you will get the distance 19.62 meter from top of the building where they cross each other. S1 is from the top. Okay, are you getting? So quite simple problem is there. In this problem, what is the concept is there? Here we have written the S1 in terms of S2. Okay, and we have compared these two equations. Here S1 is 4.905 T2 square, and here also from these values we have written the equation of S1 and compare both these two equations. So you will get the value of T, that is T is 2 seconds. Substitute this T, back substitution of T in equation number 1, you will get the height from where they are crossing each other.